Hey guys, it's Wanda, and today we're talking cucumbers. We've had cucumbers and all kinds of cucumbers, and I didn't need more pickles, and I've frozen some. The juice, I've juiced them and froze them. We've eaten them. I've done all kinds of things, and I have this huge bowl, and I decided, hey, we're going to freeze dry cucumbers. I have a Harvest Right freeze dryer. And I always freeze everything before I put it in my freeze dryer. We're up to 4 cups. Let's go ahead and go on up to the 5-cup recipe, because I don't want to put too much in here. That is cucumbers. To that, I'm going to add about 1/4 of an onion. And these are all Deep South everything. Then I'm going to add, let's add 5 tomatoes. And these are the Indigo series, the blueberry tomatoes. You can add more if you want. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons or 3 of peppers. All this is to taste according to what you want to add to it. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Miss Lippy's Bayou Blends Swamp Mix. Alright, I'm adding a tablespoon, but it's not an overpowering tablespoon. Just barely a tablespoon, because I want to know the flavor, and that's the swamp mix. Just normal sour cream. I'm going to go ahead. I need a little bit of juice, so I'm going to put that's 3 good spoons of sour cream in there. We're going to push some of this down so it all gets blended well, because I want it like a puree. I don't want chunks in it, which chunks would be okay, but it's harder to freeze dry if it's in chunks, so unless it's all in chunks. Okay, we have it all over the lid. I'm just gonna clean that off. Okay, we're gonna taste it. It's like a creamy cucumber soup with a hint of spices. It's not too spicy, so 1 tablespoon just kind of leveled out, not heaping, of swamp mix makes the flavor. It gives you that hint of something. You can taste the cucumbers and the onions and the peppers. It's really good. So we're going to pour it on a freeze dryer tray. Second batch. We're ready to put this on the second freeze dryer tray and freeze it. So I will have 2 trays of this. When I get through, when it's freeze dried, I'm going to break it into pieces and just have it to snack on, because it will be like a Cheeto type thing. It will just be airy and no moisture. So the second tray's ready. The one thing I did do, I added a touch of lemon juice to both of them because of oxidation. I didn't want it to just all turn real brown looking. So I added probably about a teaspoon of lemon juice to both mixtures. Now this is something that you can do to have as just like if you're having a cool lunch. You can take a cucumber, add a piece of tomato, onion, pepper, the dollop of probably about a teaspoon or less of sour cream, or you could use cream cheese, or I have used ranch dressing. Any of them will work, and you make a cool summer cucumber salad. It's awesome. I just had a cup of this cucumber salad or soup or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a soup, a cucumber soup. Yeah. Miss Lippy's swamp mix. Just gonna tell you, Miss Lippy's Bayou blend swamp mix. This is awesome on almost anything. And when you're freeze drying, you can slice your cucumbers, sprinkle this across the top of it, and just freeze dry them. So this is just one way you can make something with your cucumbers and have cucumbers besides just eating cucumbers or eating them in a salad. That gets boring after a while, and you want to spice up your life with Miss Lippy's Bayou blends, cucumber soup, and hey, even freeze-dried cucumbers. Hey guys, it's Wanda, and today we're going to do a little bit on the freeze dryer. It's been a while since we've talked about the freeze dryer. I've been using it a lot to freeze dry eggs as we get an excess, and as we have produce, I've been doing some things with the freeze dryer to see how they taste afterward and to see how they last. Now we'll do an update in the future on 6 months. You know, how does everything hold up that I've done so far? But today we're going to talk about watermelon and cantaloupe and cucumber soup. Isn't that awesome? I did cucumber soup. It was amazing. I mixed all that up and put it in a little dish and put it in the fridge, and it was so good cold. It was a cold cucumber soup. It was amazing. And so I had several cucumbers and I thought, why can't I freeze dry this? So I made a big batch and I did 2 trays of cucumber soup, and we got some right here. It turns into a powder when you get through. It's just a powder. And I've got a little bowl here. I'm going to put some in and add some water. I'm going to just taste a little of this right now. And these are my weck jars, weck, I don't know how you say that, weck, W-E-C-K. They're glass jars with rubber seals to keep the air out. Now, I'm just going to get a pinch. It's just a powdery kind of substance. You can taste all these flavors. I don't know what freeze drying does to it, but it's amazing, and you can taste the flavors. I didn't want to get too much, but I wanted enough in here. I just kind of feel things. And this is the way it's supposed to look. It's just got some moisture in it. I'm going to let it sit for just a minute to absorb that moisture. But that's what it looked like when I was eating it fresh. I put it in the fridge, and as a cold cucumber soup, it's amazing. It's just like it was when it was fresh. Now, I don't know how long this is going to do. I put it in Mylar, put oxygen absorbers in it, and we've got it sealed, and it's put up. We'll test it in the future to see if it holds up, but we are in a humid environment. That is my biggest deal with freeze drying, is how long it will stay fresh. Even packed in Mylar, we'll see. Now that's good. Maybe the secret is the swamp mix. Y'all check out Miss Lippy's Bayou blends. It's really good. I'm going to try and put a link in the description below. If not, go to GreenStalk. Okay. Got to have something to wash down. The cucumber soup's a plus. Freeze dried. It's amazing. I love it. Alright, so what we're going to do now I've done several fruits and stuff, and I don't know that I've showed videos on most of them, and if I don't, if I can find some of them, I will throw some of the taste test of the fruits in with this video. But watermelon. I done been testing this, guys. Y'all, that intense watermelon taste. It's amazing. I could eat this like candy all day long. It is simply wonderful. It's just like eating a watermelon Cheeto. Okay. You gotta get the watermelon taste out of your mouth. I'm telling you, freeze-dried watermelon's where it's at. Now, if we can keep it long term, I'm good. And we want to thank Barrett for bringing by the cantaloupe and the watermelon. This is a guy that lives close to us, that's visited a few times. And Barrett brought these by. Oh, thank you, Barrett. Now, I'm not a cantaloupe person. I told Barrett I'm not real big on it. I will eat it, but it's not my favorite. So, here it goes. Yo, I might learn to like this. I just cut it in chunks. Oh my. Barrett, I just might become a cantaloupe person. Oh, that is so good. I'm gonna let Danny try this after a while, but oh. I found that with most fruits, the taste is so intense and so amazing. We've done figs, we did pineapple. What else did I do? I've done blueberries. I didn't like the blueberries. I was shocked. Blueberries is something I did not really get into. So I haven't tried a lot of blueberries. The first batch I did of blueberries didn't really thrill me. We did the mulberries, and it was like eating a little Cheeto with an intense mulberry taste. Every one of the fruits that we've tried has been so intense. The figs that I did, I took a jar of figs and opened them. I did some whole figs, opened them, cut them in half, and took as much of the juice out as possible already, and then did the figs, and they were wonderful. We did some pears. I took a jar of pears, opened them up, and cut them in thin slices and put them on my freeze-dryer trays. Pre-freeze everything. I pre-freeze everything. Then put it in the freeze dryer. The pears was really intense too. So guys, if I can find some of the video, I will link it at the end. But fruits. We're going to be trying fresh pears and fresh figs soon. Like I said, those were canned that I've already done. So the fresh, we're going to see how they do. The watermelon, the cantaloupe is amazing so far. Most of the berries were good. I did not like the blackberries. I should have ran it a little longer with blackberries. They didn't seem to do as well, but mulberries were fantastic. So, guys, freeze drying, just a little update. So far, when it comes out of the freeze dryer, we love it. Most everything we've really liked coming out of the freeze dryer. Update in a month or so on how it does in the South in a very, very humid area, and will it hold up? Did I get it freeze dried long enough? So freeze dried watermelon and cantaloupe. That's where it's at, guys.
Freeze dried watermelon. We're filled with a seed in it.
I want to see.
And take that piece.
I want to see what the seed does. I didn't see a seed in it. I thought it was more. Okay.
Very intense watermelon.
What you think?
I like it actually.
It's good, isn't it?
It's
better
really
than dehydrated.
Oh, it's way better than dehydrated. Try the cantaloupe.
Isn't that good? Now I don't like cantaloupe, but I like that.
Well, I love cantaloupe. Yeah. Problem with this is, you could eat a whole cantaloupe and not even know it. The watermelon. If it would stay like that, wow.
That's what I said. In our humidity, we just got to see if it'll stay this way.
Man, that's good. I better put the lid back on that.
It's well worth it if it'll stay.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Some of the best I think we've done.
That is by far the best freeze-dried stuff I've eaten yet.
And a lot of it's been good, but this is...
Yeah, a lot of it's great, don't get me wrong. But this is better than any of it.
This is my blackberry powder. I let it run about 5 hours longer. It's powder now. This one was kind of gooey before. It's powder. I'm gonna take and put these in my bags, and I've got blackberry powder. I'll tell you later what we're gonna do, but I've got time crunch here, humidity. I gotta get this in a bag. All right, this is my blackberry powder. I've got a little bit on the trays, and I have been just kind of tasting it. It is definitely blackberry. More tangy and potent than any juice that I've done before. And what am I going to do with it? I took my blackberries that Danny had in the high tunnel. These are the Freedom blackberries. I saved them until I had several bags of them, and I kept them in the freezer. I put them over in a pot, put some water in there, and I boiled them down. Then I strained the juice and had nothing but pure juice, just like you would if you were making jelly. And I made it real thick. I didn't add a lot of water. I made a concentrated, I guess you would say, amount of juice. Then I took my trays and put them over in my freezer, and I poured about a quart of juice in each tray. I did 3 trays. That way I had a quart of each. And I didn't want to overfill the tray because I didn't want to clean up a mess in my freezer. They froze for a couple of days, so I made sure they were totally solid frozen. And they ran in the freeze dryer for, it's been more than 24 hours. I would say at least 24 hours, right at 24 hours now. And it's powder. And I'm really excited. It tastes good. It powdered up really good. I've got the oxygen absorbers in there. I've sealed it down into the bags, as you can see here. And I just wrote blackberry powder, so that when I want to do blackberry powder, I will open this up and take out what I need. And then you can reseal the bag. You can add new oxygen absorbers, whatever. You can reseal it if you need to. But my thought is, in the future, if I need blackberries and I don't have any in the freezer because we don't have a freezer or I just run out, all I got to do is come get these, open it up, and make smoothies. I can add it to anything because it's not sweet. It's just this tangy blackberry taste. I can also do muffins. Just put a spoonful or 2 of that powder over in your batter and make blackberry muffins, and you don't have the seeds. We took some of our blackberries out, and some of these are wild blackberries. And then we did some of our tame Arkansas Travelers that are so big. Now, I can tell the Arkansas Travelers did really well. Some of the tame ones did. They seem to have pretty much dried really well. The berry. I'm not sure I like this. I guess it'd be okay rehydrated in a pie. And they would be okay for a snack. But it's like biting into a Cheeto. And then a couple minutes later, the berry burst. Okay, I'm going to show you the blueberries in a minute, but I'm going to taste the blueberry. Now that was a crunchy little piece of blueberry. But some of my blueberries did not get as crunchy, and I ran it like 3 or 4 hours extra. Now that one is not as crunchy as the first one. So blueberries would be a hit and miss, I guess, for me.
Good morning, everybody. This is Danny and Wanda from Deep South
We're not
Homestead.
doing the beginning. The mulberries are out of the freeze dryer. Now, They look just like mulberries. I mean,
you can't tell the
you
difference.
can't tell that we didn't just pick them off the tree. It is amazing.
I'm interested in seeing what they taste like.
They're crispy.
It does sound, they sound crisp.
Like a Cheeto. I always say everything's like a Cheeto.
I'm fixing to try one of them. It's hard.
And
It's
light.
very light. Wow, it's like it has no weight to it whatsoever. Okay, let's get them back on the tray here.
Okay, choose your 1 or 2 or 3. And we're gonna see what.
I want one of the really black ones because that's the sweetest ones in the tree.
Yeah, that's what I got. You ready?
Let's do this. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna choose one of the red ones too.
That is probably the best taste. This is probably the best thing we've ever done.
This is the best thing we've made with the freeze dryer, just to eat fresh.
To
I mean,
date.
like this.
This is the best. Oh my gosh. And the intensity, the red one was so intense.
Well, I've eaten some of the ones that are not as dark. Plus, I've eaten darker ones.
Oh my gosh, that's addictive.
You could just sit and eat them like you do off a tree.
That's just like eating the Cheetos out of a bag.
Oh my. Okay, we
You need to go ahead and put them up.
Yeah, we're
Because
gonna
we need to
get
go
them
get the tarp put down.
We're fixing to go tarp the trees.
Yeah.
We're freeze drying more. And as many as we can freeze dry, we are freeze drying mulberries.
Wow.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That is
I don't know about
best.
reconstituting them, but
I don't care.
I don't care. This is right here. This is perfect.
You
You
can
think-
reconstitute them, and I'll probably do some later. But I'm gonna get these in the bag.
If you had a backpack and you needed a snack or something to carry
Oh.
with you, oh my gosh.
This is amazing. I love it.
I love
It's
it.
amazing.
The best to date.
The best to date, yeah.
Wow.
Out of everything we freeze dried and eat fresh,
I gotta walk away.